Good afternoon, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. Wanted to hop on today and talk about an interesting instrument that I've got. And everybody, if anybody that's got a criminal record of any sort, or even a civil record at the local courthouse, can do this. And I hope everybody will, because what I'm presenting today is just a form that they use here locally in this county. And there are 99 counties in Iowa alone. And so they all use different forms according to their own construction. But I'm sure a lot of them are going to have a setup in a like manner, because they all use the same system, the court registry investment system, which is done on a state level in accordance to the bonds. And then when those state bonds mature, they pool them and then sell them to the federal government for further negotiating on the international market, which is a foreign market, whereas the states are the domestic markets. So anyway, that's how that works. They're all connected in one way or another, but they may use various different forms. And so what I'm presenting today, I'm hoping other people will go do and get this record as well, so we can compare the different forms and see how they've got them set up, and see if the same information isn't mentioned in like manner. So pay attention and watch what I'm showing you here. What this is a financial accounting statement from the local courthouse in regards to all of my criminal and civil actions that went on in that court. Now, I could get the full record printed off, and it even says that there on the instrument that it's the full record, but I only wanted the most recent cases that showed the actual dollar amounts that yet need to be paid. All the other cases that were previous history that would have been adjudicated, paid, discharged, and everything in the past, I didn't need any record on that for now. I can always get it later on. But for now, I just needed the current total of the supposed debts that they claim. And so they gave me this sheet. And I'm going to switch it around here so everybody can see this. And this is just the top right corner. If we go down in my post, you'll see there's the one I posted not yesterday, but the night before, I think. And it shows a picture of the whole page, but people are having a problem reading it. And so I posted an updated picture that's larger. And as you can see, and if we click on it, it gets just slightly larger. And what we're looking at, people, is that financial instrument that I'm talking about. Now this up here in the top, you see that says Paige Jeanette Baldwin with the state versus her. That's just the prior record that was on the computer base in the buffer when the clerk looked up my criminal record, which starts at this financial index. Okay, so this is just the prior record that sat in the computer buffer. This is the one that they have on me. And what I want everybody to pay attention to is how they've got it stylized and everything, of course. And we see in the top thing, it says, very first, there's a circle. And what they wanted them to do was fill that circle in accordance to which option they chose. And I told them I wanted both, the entire record, criminal and civil, whatever they've got, so they put full. But you see they use a circle, and then look here, they've got G in parentheses. They've got R in parentheses. They've got F in parentheses. These are very important little notations. A brother of mine and I were talking about this in chat or Messenger earlier in regards to the video I did on 1 USC 1, words denoting numbers, gender, and so forth. And when we looked at that and saw the updated versions, how they changed the quotation marks and stuff, and the spacing here and there, they changed the literal context of what it was saying. And this is what they're doing here. And so we look at this again and look what they did here with last. They put a parenthesis around little. So this isn't technically a last name as we know grammatically in common usage. This is stylized differently. And then not only is it stylized differently, look at the backslash, and then it says firm. That's a corporate entity. Okay, another thing I want you to pay attention, it says first, and of course you know it's all uppercase. And then look here, middle. There's no use of a middle name here. Yet when you look in the record, you see the middle name. Okay, so again we see a different style. And look here, like I said here, the last, it doesn't have the full last name. It's got 4 symbols. And like I said, in regards to those bonds that are being sold, that's a ticker symbol, people. That is not a last name. That is a ticker symbol. It is not an error on the record. It does not need to be corrected. It needs to be affirmed. It needs to be ascertained and confirmed that that is in fact a ticker number under the firm name relative to little Keith Orland. And again, no middle name, so it's only relative. Obligor is the same thing. And look here again, there's no obligee listed. There's no payer listed. There's no payee listed. Why? Do they not know who the payee is? Do they not know who the payer is? Do they not know who the obligee is? Is this information we need to be filling out for them? But notice here. Uh-oh. Obligor isn't a name. The obligor is the number. Is the obligee a number as well? You know, like kind. Obligee, payer, payee. Those are all financial transactors. Those are all persons involved in the transactions of persons. And they're all associated and identified by account numbers. Case, again, parentheses, and then ID, and then 01-07-1 or 01-07-1, and then nothing in the boxes. What are these boxes for? Is there another literal defined term that needs to be written in there in script and not numbers? Citation number, short. So that's the short title. That's the statute and not the federal regulation or the local ordinance. And then it says history, show address, show related people, status, all. So we want to show nothing or all. What is it? Then again, search, parentheses. Is it a defined search of specific information? Yes. Look here, case ID. Uh-oh, that's not got a parenthesis. And then there's nothing after it. But right below it, it has a case ID in all uppercase relating to another person. If this person is the obligor, and the name on the Social Security card is Keith Orland Little, who is this guy? Who is this? What person is this? Where does he fall in this place up here? What number is attached to this guy that would fill in one of these places? Is there such a number? Date of birth, 8/20/1966. PIN number. Is that one of those numbers? Social Security number, there it is. That's the obligor. That's your obligor right there, folks. The state is obligated first, but they're obligated through a foreign trade zone to operate the insurance programs of the foreign trade zone as a foreign trade zone operating as a transmitting utility of the federal government. So again, what is all these blanks? Why is that not filled out? Should those not be filled out? I mean, we have a chain of title here, don't we? Why is that chain of title not listed? Is it a true title? Which title are we talking about? Is it an numerical title? Is it this 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 title? What title is it? Driver's license number. Look at that. Notice this is a 9-digit number. This is another 9-digit number. It is relative to this number. Is it relative as obligee, payor, or payee? These are serious questions, people. Are you paying attention? They tell you right there the obligor is not you, it's the account number. Who's the obligee? They don't have it listed. Is that me? I've never been identified as the obligee, the payor, or the payee. Who is? Well, let's talk about them Federal Reserve notes then. As we've discussed, legal tender since 1979 is no longer in circulation. Therefore, the Federal Reserve notes that they have stating on them legal tender for all debts, public and private, actually are not in circulation. Is that inconsistent with the way they're used today as a circulating medium? Yet at the same time, that circulating medium has zero intrinsic value and is not actually a payment because it's merely a promise to pay. What is a promise to pay? Isn't that a pledge? Uh-oh. Guess what, folks? Render unto Caesar that which belongs unto Caesar. Are you paying attention? When you go to McDonald's and you get that minimum wage job minimum wage job, and they think and they describe wage as a payment for services rendered, and we're told we can't make a payment because it's only a promise to pay, and therefore payment has not been made. It cannot be made until the promise is fulfilled. Fulfilled for services rendered. Is a reward or just desserts. Comes from mid 14th century. Salary paid to a provider of service. From Anglo-French and Old North French, wage as a gauge. You know, the mort gauge. You know, the death gauge. Pledge. Pledge. Pay. Reward. I can't pledge. I've already accepted his oath. I can't pay or be paid because I have everything I need in prosperity and abundance, and I am to replenish the earth, not unto others, only through them. Reward? Sorry, I'm already a ward of his house, as I've stated. From Frankish, waja, or another Germanic source, compare Old English, wed. Do you promise to wed, Martha? To have and to hold. Pledge, agreement, covenant. Gothic, wadi, pledge. From Proto-Germanic, wadi, see wed. Wed. If you're going to go get a minimum wage, folks, you're marrying them. You damn harlots. Also from mid-14th century, a pledge, guarantee, surety. Surety. I got a nice document from my last case where they named the defendant the surety. And yet they have failed in the entire situation to name myself. Proving in, on, and for the record that I now know the surety and the obligor. I know the trustee. I know the co-trustees. And I certainly know the beneficiaries. Usually in plural. As I said, co-trustees. And circa 1400, a promise or pledge to meet in battle. The payment for service, since by late 14th century, extended to allotments. Lots, parcels, pieces of land. Is what that is relative to. Plots and lots. And they gave out allotments through the military. No, I'm not telling you what the words mean. I'm telling you how they are using them against us. They are using these words against us. We need to realize the reality of the words in their origin doesn't come from this etymology. It comes from within ourselves. And if we see the differences of this, like I said, Robert, I have already pledged. I have already pledged my body as a sacrifice, as he wished, as his will, and therefore his will goes through me. I'm merely explaining how to see this stuff. I really wish you would calm down and quit taking it so personally. Love you though, brother. Money paid at regular intervals. And I hope you hang around long enough to find out what we're really talking about, because you're going to, I hope to impress you. Paid at regular intervals for continuous or repeated service. My service is continuous and is at all times, not at intervals or repeated. because I go in and out. Traditionally in English, wages were payment for manual or mechanical labor. I don't go, it's continuous because I'm wed. I already have a covenant, an agreement, a pledge. And it comes from him. He gave it to me and I accepted that. We're payment for manual or mechanical, not scriptural, not spiritual. Or mechanical labor. Labor. What's labor? Women, you guys are said you go into labor all the time. I'll talk to you in a little bit here, Robert. I don't want to get distracted from this. But remember, I love you, brother. And somewhat distinguished from salary or fee. I do the good works. I do the good works. Yes, him. Are you sure it's H-I-M and not H-Y-M? Because I will sing. That is my good works. I'm told to go forth and sing. Isaiah 54, the first word in there, sing. Verse 17 speaks about no evil shall prosper against thee, so long as I sing. And that is my good works. I don't labor over it. It is not hard. It comes naturally. Distinguished from salary or fee. Modern French cognate gages, plural, means wages of domestic. One of range of French. Pay, words distinguished by class. Such as traitement, university professor, pay, salaire, workman. That is wrong. That is, or actually I shouldn't say wrong. I should say I would better define that. Salt of man. Sold. Sold. Give unto Caesar. Render unto Caesar. Pledge unto Caesar. Only what belongs to Caesar. Sold yourselves as soldiers. Recompense. I have already been compensated through prosperity and abundance. I don't need recompense. I don't know what the PRIX stands for. The Old English word was lean, related to loan, as in lean, L-I-E-N. Uh-oh. L-E-I-N. L-I-E-N? If it starts with lie? Are they messing with the phonetics, the graphemes, and doing it all through morphemes? And representing the usual Germanic word? Wage earner. Wage earner. Now they attach it to earner. 1871, wage, the verb, give as surety. Deposit. Remember I told you, we spoke about deposit. Posit is placement. Deposit is deplacement. Deplacement as a pledge. I already have my place in Mother Earth. I don't need an address. I don't need a home. I don't need a box restricting my going out and coming in. From Old North French wager, to pledge. To pledge, guarantee, promise, bet, wager, pay. Modern French gager from wage, see wage, noun, meaning to carry on. Engage in. To carry on. Engage in. In. Of war. It is attested from mid-15th century, probably from earlier sense, to offer as a gauge of battle. Agree to engage in combat. Waged, waging. Let's go to salary. Oh, and first I want to note, people, when we look up the word wage, Latin root here, as we see here, the first thing that comes up isn't wage, but salary, telling us that wage actually comes from salary. And we'll see that here. This is vocabulary.com. We're going to worry about this one, because I want to point out, well, let's go back to this one first, because it says salary comes from the Latin word salarium, which also means salary, and it has the root sal, or salt. Okay? Biblical folks, a man is worth his weight in salt. He proves his good works by the sweat of his works, in tilling the soil and honoring the Mother Earth, which he was condemned to when he was removed from the Garden of Eden. In ancient Rome, it specifically meant the amount of money allotted, there it is again, allotted to a Roman soldier to buy salt, which was an expensive but essential commodity. Okay? That's the civil sense of the salt. Being so valuable, soldiers in the Roman army were sometimes paid with salt instead of money. So instead of getting money and going to buy salt, instead of getting allotment of money to a Roman soldier to buy salt, their monthly allowance was called a salarium, and they were paid with salt. And this is where we get our today's meaning of salary. Latin root can be cognized in the French root salaire, not salarium. And it eventually made it into the English language as word salary. So we see the origin as salarium, and then it was changed to salaire, and then in the English to salary. But it originates from salt. Salary versus wage. Wages are money. Wages are the money your employer pays you for the hours you work each week as you go in and work and then leave repetitiously and not continuously. A salary, on the other hand, typically defines a fixed amount your employer pays you, not necessarily for specific hours worked, but for completing the duties of your job. Yeah, I hope they do, Robert. I hope everybody gives God a chance to gives himself a chance to hear God singing. In the beginning was Word, and Word was God, and Word was God. Period. Learn that, people, and learn that's the importance of comprehending how do you place your own definition on these words, and don't let anybody else define you. As I've said before, the definition of a word is merely another man's opinion. If you want to take it to heart, you have to put it in your heart and know what it means to yourself. Know thyself. This is in the same regards to being healthy. It is not being healthy. It is knowing how to heal thyself. How to behave, not behave. Think about this stuff, people. I urge you. And hear the words as they're meant. And not the way they're scripted before you and plastered into your government and educational books, your commercial learnings, and your universities and medical societies. Listen to your heart. That's where it's written. And it's not written in a literal sense, and it certainly isn't written in a visual or graven image sense. You have to know it by observing it outwardly. This is paying homage to your Mother Earth. She will give you all the answers in accordance with His promise. She will show you that she is plentiful and that you will be abundant in prosperity on that. As long as you take care of her and replenish it, she will take care of you. You need nothing else. You don't even need their words. And so when they present their words, you clarify to them. Well, it shows an obligor, but you evidently don't know what you're doing because you don't know who the payer is or who the payee is. Isn't that the one that's supposed to take care of the situation here between the obligor and the obligee? I mean, you got all kinds of names. In that case alone, they've got 6 different styles of that name. Which one is who, and why are there only 4 positions? I mean, mathematically even, it doesn't make sense. So words denoting the numbers, gender, and so forth. Let's talk about those. Where do they really come from? Are they yours or theirs? Plain and simple. I am obviously not the obligor. So obligor means nothing to me. I also am not the obligee, because you don't have me listed there. I am also not the payor, because you don't have me listed there. And I am also not the payee, because I'm not listed there. You do have a case ID that has a listing that kind of represents something familiar or similar or maybe possibly related somehow, but comprehend. One very important thing. It is said, I knew thee before I formed thee in the belly. Before thou camest out of the womb, I sanctified and I ordained thee as a prophet unto the nations. So long before anybody even conceived me, I was told to sing. Because as it said, he knew me before he even formed me. Therefore, there must have been some communication beforehand between him and I before I had any communication with anybody else, including my mother and father here in earth. And that is what is written on my heart. That is what I am wed to. He knew me long before my mom and dad did, whether they adopted me or whether they were my biological parents. And I subject or pledge myself to no one else. Like I said, my body is the sacrifice. Here, you'll never get to it. You'll never get to it. You'll never stop it. So, be it whatever they post on their record. It's none of my business. Obviously. Because you can't possibly put my name on that paper as I can prove otherwise. Because even that legal name that you have there has an antecedent record known as an ancient document under their own rules. That also clarifies that legal name has an inheritance from something else. Clearly and distinctly different. And it's known as that biological name is actually Conrady and not Little. And nobody can deny that either. So now we see, folks, there's a chain of title of that legal entity. I hold no title. Before I knew thee, I was already. What is done is what ought be done. There is nothing new under the sun. I am, I was, and I will be. I come in peace, I am in peace, I will leave in peace. Nobody can rebut any of this. The only one that can change it is me, and that's if I surrender. Surrender. So screw the surname, and remember to just call me brother. Now when I get done here, I'm going to post my other forums, and of course my PayPal link, and I hope people will hit that PayPal link and share some love with me, because I certainly do need it. But in the meantime, remember, folks, it's the information and all that stuff that's important, so make sure you share that. Get on those links, check out those other links, check out the information, check out all the different videos, and share all the information, all the videos, and all those links. But of course, again, please share some love. I need it. In the meantime, remember, folks, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this. Like I said, I can speak up against anybody. I'm told to sing, and I will sing. And nothing that was formed against me in evil shall prosper. I won't let it. Pure and simple. So God bless and have a good day, guys.